technology, who had a rich experience in utilizing the latest education technology as well as the cutting-edge AI tools to create interactive activities in classroom with a fun factor so as to engage the students in active learning. So in the next hour, he will be sharing his experience, how he has managed to engage students in the classroom. So may I pass the floor to Mr. Garrett Lai, please. Thank you.
Hi guys. Thanks for the invitation from Lillian. So I'll be sharing some of the tools I've been using or I've been testing. I think I found interesting or probably productive in my teaching. Some of the tools I've been using, okay, in my actual teaching and learning for to my students, and some of the tools I'm actually investigating. I'm exploring, and if there's any possibilities to apply to my students. So I'm gonna demonstrate some of the tools. I guess especially from the colleagues in Malaysia, probably you have actually wider usage of those AI tools, especially because you don't need. I don't think you will need an a VPN to access the ChatGPT. Most of the tools I'm actually I'll be introducing, they're actually using the backbone of ChatGPT 4. But of course, the reason that I introduce you different tools is because there's actually tools in the market. Some of them are free, okay, with limitation. Some of them you have to pay. They actually make use of the backbone of the ChatGPT, okay, and you will actually make your works, make our life easier. Okay, we don't have to write lots of programs to make use of those. To write lots of programs to make use of those API application interface. To make use of those functions. So I'll be introducing some of the tools first. And if you have any question, feel free to put your questions on the chat box. I may not be able to answer all of the questions, especially I'm pretty new to this. Okay, even though I've been spending some time on this, but the AI tools actually has been launched for nearly half a year. Okay, so anyway, let's get started. If you have any question, we can do some sharing, or if you have any more interesting usage or adoption of these AI tools in your current teaching and learning setting, feel free to let us know. Okay, I think we will be thrilled to learn from each other. So I'm gonna do some of the, so make sure if I'm actually sharing the screen, so if you do have problem hearing or reading or watching the screen, just let us know. Okay, so I'll actually, hold on, let me just hide this floating control. So I will actually do it one by one. Now you may wonder, I'm actually the first tools that just let me. You see, actually, while I'm presenting, I'm actually not facing on the screen because actually I'm actually using two computers. So that you actually, I have to take care of two computers. Make sure. Hold on. Okay, right here. Okay, to make sure everything is working, because I'll be switching two computers, one on the Windows-based, one in the Mac machine. Now, the very first tools I'm gonna talk about is actually POE. Well, the reason that I use, you may wonder, the reason that I use POE instead of using OpenAI. Of course, you can actually use OpenAI, especially for the friends or colleagues in Malaysia. Probably you won't be blocked for OpenAI. But the point is, I'm not going to use OpenAI to demonstrate the work, is because actually we have to. We don't have direct access to OpenAI. We have to go through the VPN. So our lab here has not equipped with an APN, so then I have to use a POE. They actually they actually the same thing because they're actually using the GPT-4 engine here. Now, just bear in mind, what I'm talking about are all the AI tools. They are not the final solutions. We really have to triangulate the solutions or the so-called the statements or the message are produced by the AI. Some of them may be wrong, or some of them may be outdated, especially for mathematical questions, because all of these ChatGPT or all of these AI module, they actually LLM, large language model. They actually focus on the language rather than the calculations. I've actually tried to have create some questions for Python to compute to do some of the arithmetic questions. They actually many of them actually were wrong, but for the text based for text based, most of them are actually not they actually function quite well. So that bear in mind, you still have to triangulate the message delivered by these AI tools. So the real I'm actually using POE now. POE, they actually is an Apple-based program. So if you are having a MacBook or any iOS devices, Apple devices, you can actually download tools called POE. But how about the Windows user? I'm currently demonstrating you is actually I'm using a Windows machine. I've actually paid for this one because I found this pretty interesting. Actually, it helped me a lot when because I'm gonna switch some of my programming language. I'll be teaching in the next academic year. I'll be switching from Java to Python, and I don't want to it's actually pretty tedious work to write up all the labs, so that I'm actually use some of these AI tools to actually help me to write up some of the lab sheet. But bear in mind, for this to make well use of this AI models, you have to identify three things, or actually more than three things, I would say. Now, first of all, you have to give them a role first. Okay, so you have to tell the AI, okay, suppose you are a lecturer. At what level, for example? So you also role, task, and format, and also I would say a context. Okay, you should be somewhere between context. Okay, so that you have to tell the POE or tell the ChatGPT. Now, suppose you're a lecturer at university level 1 or level 2. Okay, I'm not sure. I haven't used the terms associate degree because I'm not sure whether they have these things. But actually, we have actually a similar level. Let's say we are actually at our university level 1 or level 2. Okay, or year 1 or year 2. Then what we are doing, the context, what we are doing, we create a task, create a lab sheet, okay, that would do the Python, okay, that would teach the students how to install Python or Visual Studio Code and what else, okay, all the steps, and show them in a lab sheet format, okay. So that what I'm doing is, let's say, suppose you are a lecturer, okay, of computer science. So, okay, teaching university year 1 and year 2 students. Create a lab sheet on instructing students to I am just making it up, okay, create a lab sheet on installation of VS Code, which is Python first, Python, okay, and VS Code. A VS Code, if you are a computer science teacher, then you should know this is actually a programming tools. And VS Python. Python is a programming language, okay. Python extension of VS Code. Okay. Then show them in a step-by-step fashion or style. Okay. The instruction should include both Mac and Windows machines environment. Okay, so this is my message. Probably they do have some grammatical mistakes, but that doesn't really matter as long as the program, as long as the POE the ChatGPT understand your idea, that's fine. So now I have a role. I give them a role. Okay, then this is my context. Okay, I'm teaching year 1, year 2 students. I create a lab sheet, which is a task. Okay, now for the task, you have to be very specific. You better be very specific. Otherwise, you will give you a very general task. Okay, yeah, that will lead you to nowhere. Because like we're gonna create, I'll be creating at least 10 labs so that we have make sure that you have the objectives. You have to state the objectives here. This is actually my objectives. To install instructions, instructing students to install Python and VS Code. These are the things I need. Okay, the Python, the VS Code, and the extension, 3 things. Okay, and the format here, the format. So I have my role, I have my task, I also have my context. Okay, and then this is the format. Okay, I have show them into step-by-step style or fashion, whatever vocab you're going to use. The instructions also, I'll give them a further additional instruction. The instructions should include both Mac and Windows machine because my students, they have they both use Windows and Mac environment. So then I'm gonna run this. Now, you see the knowledge is actually does not have the knowledge after 2021. Well, depending on your work, especially if you are a lecturer that will be teaching very updated material, then you have to make sure you have to cross-check. Okay. So then you can have a coffee, you can have a cup of coffee and come back. This is the reason why I actually paid for this POE, because try to imagine if I had to create 10 labs, okay, then I can actually have 10 cups of coffee, then I'm done. Of course, you have to go back to check this, to check whether it works. And sometimes this is a large language model. It doesn't contain any pictures. Maybe you want to add some pictures in it. Okay. So it gives you most of the parts. Okay. And sometimes you may find this the wordings they've been using are actually very robotic. Okay, they're actually not very human enough. So that you may want to revise some of the terms to make this thing is actually your things. Okay, rather than everyone can actually see this is actually produced from a chatbot. So it's still running. Now this is the code I have. Then if you think okay, this is fine, then you can simply just copy the message, copy, then put it on a Word file and paste. Then of course you have to do some of the formatting. Okay, you have to do some of the formatting because when you just copy and paste, it doesn't copy the style, because bear in mind this is a message. This is a message, okay, so that it's just copy a plain text. Then you may want to add some, link. For example, this is a Visual Studio Code, okay, VS Code. you may want to insert the link, the Python, the VS Code, so that don't just think, okay, I use a POE, then I will actually that this is it. I don't need to do any modification. It simply just give you, okay, you can consider this is your tutor, or this is your assistant, this is your TA. This machine, this chatbot has actually done like 40 or 50 or 60% the work for you. Then you still have to do a final check. Okay, so that I've been actually using this chatbot to create all my labs. Okay, and for probably for the next labs, okay, then I will use I'll give this. Now, since I have already I'm actually using it, we're still within the same conversation, so that this chatbot is still considered itself as a lecturer, so that I do not need to restate, okay, you are the lecturer of the computer science students. Now you can give the next task. Okay, for example, now you can actually have more, you can actually have a deeper conversation with it. Okay, but let's say, okay, now you can say, how can I test if Python and VS Code are installed correctly? Probably you want to add this one, okay, to ask the student to do a self-check. Okay, then you can actually further copy this message to your work file. Then you can actually ask students to do the self-test to test whether these installations they have been all this module has been installed properly. Okay. While he's doing, I'm gonna do another question. For example, for this Python, I'm gonna create a test. Okay, so that, or maybe create a lab. Okay, let's say now create a test with 5 programming questions. Okay, Python on. Well, you better focus on a particular area. Okay, because if you say simply just create a test, okay, create a midterm test. Okay, be more specific with 5 Python programming questions on a specific area on branching and looping. These are some of the major area that students should know when they learn Python. Then it will also give you the topic. Now it will actually give you a solution as well, so that you can actually copy this part. Okay, copy this part, question 1, this part, okay, to your students, and save this Python. Okay, they save this part of code for yourself. Okay. I'm too greedy. Sometimes you may think, okay, these questions are actually they are actually too easy for a test. Then you can let me wait. So let's say these are the questions. Okay, of course, I'm not saying that you have to copy all these questions. Sometimes you may change. Okay, sometimes you may change the idea. You grab the idea, then you may want to change some of the things. Okay. So I just wait. I just let it finish. Now it's still running. Now, so I think well, like these 5 questions are too easy. So probably I need 2 more difficult questions so that I can differentiate the top students. Then I would say, give me 2 more difficult questions to differentiate the top 5 students, 5% students. Then you actually continue question 6. Okay. Now these are the algorithm. I don't even know. Okay. So probably you have to, now it's an Asian algorithm to find all the prime numbers. Okay. Probably now if you're going to give this question to student, probably beforehand you have to explain what it is. Okay. Now it's actually pretty interesting. Sometimes I don't even know this algorithm. Probably it's actually another opportunity for us to learn this kind of algorithm. Okay. So this is actually how I create my test, how I create my lab sheet. But do bear in mind, the AI will not do all the job for you. Okay, you will consider it only do half of the job for you. Then you still have to check these check the as output. Okay, to see whether it works or not. Okay.
Whether the answers given are correct.
You can simply just copy. What I would do is I got a question asking whether can I check whether these answers are correct. I would say so far I've checked all the questions I've checked. Okay, they're actually correct because actually this code, okay, they actually not generated by they are not produced by the ChatGPT, by the chatbot. They actually collect all the existing program language from GitHub, okay, which is like GitHub is actually, you can consider GitHub is actually a very big database, have actually collect most of the programs. They have you simply just copy this program and put it to a compiler, put it to a Python program, run it to see whether it produces the same result. Okay, of course, yes, you have to cross-check this. Now, because I don't think I have all days, so that I will actually going to show you another one for the ChatGPT. For sometimes when I'm super lazy, let me share my other screen as well. So that for this one, I will stop sharing. Okay, I'm going to share another screen. Now this is my Mac machine. Okay. Just take away this one. Now for this one, you see. Now, what I'm doing is actually because actually it's actually too much work. I don't think we have enough time to do this one. This actually what I'm doing is, suppose you're a lecturer of digital games in education setting. Because I was a lecturer in an education university to teach the teachers to be okay and in using digital games. So you are about to grade a student essay. So that again, I'm actually giving the ChatGPT a role, okay, a context in this education setting. And then what the task is, you're about to grade a student essay on its reflection on the digital games in education setting. And these are my criteria. Okay, so you may say, okay, yes, that's actually too much. But the point is, usually this criteria, I will give these criteria to my students before they actually produce this essay. So that I simply just copy and paste the rubrics or the criteria. Okay, I have already given to the students. Then I've actually simply just copy and paste. These are my so-called criteria. Then I'll also say the criteria contents are like content 40%, critical review 40%, and structure and grammar 20%. Of course, you can change whatever you want. Okay. Then based on your criteria, okay, then you actually discuss with you, okay, are these the breakdowns you like? Okay, then I'll say, so if you are not okay with this message, you can simply just tell the ChatGPT that the chatbot, okay, we change the content, or you simply just ask them, okay, change some of the rubrics. Now I'll say grade the following report, okay, according to rubrics given comments in 1,100 words. Okay. Now, is that unfortunately I cannot grade without having, because here I forgot to attach my report. Now now this is actually the report. I simply just copy and paste from the students. Okay. I haven't changed a single letter. So exploring the blah blah blah, exploring the solar system blah blah. This actually completely this message is actually totally from him. Okay. Then I simply just copy and paste. Okay. Then it will give you, based on rubrics provided, I will grade this report as like 38 out of 40, 38 out of 40, 19 out of 20, blah blah blah. You can actually turn it to and also it will give you some of the feedbacks. Okay, there's an excellent report, blah blah blah. There's actually, well, what I would say, do not totally rely on, okay, the rubrics. Usually what I would do is I would actually I'm still testing these things, so that what I would do is just like what we usually do in normal teaching. We actually have grade most of the students. Then I will pick the two top, two middle range, and two in the lowest range, and dump it to the ChatGPT and see whether they meet my criteria. Okay, and do not totally, simply just this will give you an idea, okay, of how these students have written his report, but do not totally rely on it. But I think I found this at least, okay, probably the grade I may not follow, but at least I will take a look, okay, of this final remarks, final comments. Okay, so this and another one for the usage of ChatGPT. Okay. Now, for POE, okay, for POE, if you are the users in Hong Kong, I bet POE is actually the most accessible tools. But for colleagues in Malaysia, probably you may want to use OpenAI. They actually do the same thing. But for POE, there are actually different chatbots. Okay, the Sage I think is kind of free. ChatGPT-4, they have actually limited access. Okay, but because I've already paid for this one, so that I think I have more tokens on this. It actually it's not that expensive. Okay, of using the ChatGPT-4. Okay, you don't pay a lot. Okay, I pay around 1,000 something Hong Kong dollars for a whole year. Then I've been using this one to create my labs. Okay, and for my course, it actually helped me a lot. Okay, so this is the ChatGPT things. You find any interesting idea of using this? Just let me know. Just bear in mind, most of the tools I'll be sharing with you guys, they actually has a backbone of the ChatGPT-4. Okay, these tools simply just save your work from programming, from using the API of these things of the ChatGPT-4. Okay, now what I'm going to do next one is so any questions? If you don't, then I'm gonna talk about the Microsoft Designer. The Microsoft Designer, let me just Google it. Microsoft MS Designer. This thing is actually a newly Microsoft has been very aggressive in exploring the AI market, because they think they actually are losing shares in the market. So that you can make use of this Microsoft Designer. Few months ago, you have to get an invitation from someone else, from somebody to get into the Microsoft Designer. I don't know why, somehow I just get in. Okay, so that simply just Google Microsoft Designer. Okay, you'll actually pop up. Okay, and it's still in a trial period. Okay, for me actually, I'm not very even though I teach creative media, but I do not teach the designing part. Okay, but you can make use of this Microsoft Designer. Okay, to create a poster, or you can actually add some image. Okay, and to create a poster. Okay, for example, you can say create a poster promoting what programs I have? Okay, creative media, CI, creative and interactive media, right? Interactive media production. Okay, now it doesn't give you a very nice thing, but anyway, probably I haven't got the image of the UWCHK. Probably if you add an image, you will actually blend the image to this. Okay. And the reason I introduce things to you because it's actually free at the moment. To give you a basic poster, you can actually change the size, okay, to portrait. Okay, you can actually change it. This gives you an idea. I'm not sure they will actually, any of you will find this one very useful. But anyway, over by UWCHK. It doesn't. I didn't have a logo. If you have a logo, you can actually input the image. Okay, from to this. Okay, then probably okay the poster you somehow include a logo. I can generate these things. Okay, so we actually have something like this. Okay, associate degree in the course name and the UWCHK. Probably you may not like it, but anyway, at least it give you some idea. For example, you find this one is useful, then you can actually customize the design. Okay, you can actually customize the design and put the templates or whatever text you want to. Okay, this is a designer. The one I've been using, other tools I'll be using is this one, the Canvas. Okay, because I've actually paid for the Canvas, so that I have used Canvas. Sometimes when I use Canvas, well, Microsoft Designer give you another poster. Let's see if I have another one. Or maybe for some of the admin staff, okay, you can actually create Instagram post in the, how to spell? Is it big I? Post on BBQ gathering invitation to students of faculty of science technology. Okay. Use UWCHK. So this will give you let's say you can actually customize the design. You can actually add any visual, any visual to elements, or you can actually add text. You can actually even change the text. It will give you a background. Okay, then you can work on this background, and you can download it. Okay, put it as a Instagram, or simply download as a PNG file. Okay, so it's up to you. The other one is similar to this, actually Canvas. For Canvas, okay, if I use Canvas, I can actually use text to image. Okay, well, for Canvas, I've already paid for this one, so that I use applications here, then create image, then section. I want to do let's say students is deadline writer. Okay, on his project, on his programming project. Hold on, to see. Okay, this one, I would say, yes, yeah. Yes, right. I type here a student who is a deadline fighter. Try to see. So give you this one. Okay, I'm not sure whether you find this useful, but anyway, the more things, the more descriptive the image, okay, you can actually give them. You will actually produce better result. Well, you may wonder for most of the picture that involves human being, okay, they're actually not Asian, because most of this, the backbone of this thing is actually from the States, from the United States, okay, or from the western part, of this globe, okay. So probably you've seen some of the white faces, the black faces, rather than the Asian looks. All right. So these are the things, but anyway, you may find these things probably useful as a start, as a foundation for you to develop better design. So another one, so these are the tools. They also have the Midjourney. The Midjourney is actually very useful. I've also paid for the Midjourney, but I do not use it a lot. And especially, it's actually you require a little bit of technical background to use Midjourney. This is the reason why I'm not going to introduce you Midjourney right here, because you have to learn some of the prompts. But if you're interested in Midjourney, you can simply just Google, just go to YouTube and find and try to see some of the samples usage. Now the next one I'm going to share with you is a Conquer. Conquer, simply just Google. Okay, this is actually for AI power quizzes. Okay, now sometimes it's actually, but I'm very lazy. Okay, to create multiple choices, so that I will actually make use of Conquers to create some of my my multiple choices. I'll say, so I've already logged in. Okay, and it's actually free. Python basic basics on Python basis on branching and loop thing. Okay, so I have simply just typed kind of like a topic, Python basics. Python is a programming language, basics on branching and looping. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to, let's say, if I'm going to do an prepare some of the MC questions for the examinations, then I will say, okay, I'm gonna create. So I will customize. So this is a multiple choice type. Okay, then I would say for the grade, I would simply just go to higher education. And then the output language will be in English. You can actually, I think they do have Chinese. They use Mandarin. Okay, either simplified or traditional Chinese. So that if you are trying to produce a Chinese test, okay, it actually works. Then the number of questions are 5. You can actually have up to 10. Okay, but to save our time, I simply just make 5. Or maybe you can actually upload your own material. You can actually type some of the text, okay, from your text from your PowerPoint or from your slides, okay. Key in some of the keywords of the materials, okay. Maximum 1,200 words, but I'm not going to use it. Okay, then just generate. So that I take this choice, multiple choice, higher education, then 5 questions, then I generate. Now, just bear in mind, especially if you are the math teachers or the programming teachers. As I said, most of the AI model, they actually large language model. They are very good at language, but they are very bad in in mathematics or any computational things, so that some of the questions they will give you the right question, but may give you the wrong result. So that you have to be very aware that you have to cross-check these things. So what keywords is used in Python to start a loop? For, yes, okay. You can actually validate this answer, okay. But supposedly, if you are the teacher, then you should know these things, okay. So what is the output of foreign code x equal to 5 y blah 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 clean, okay. Now this should work here, okay. Now, so these are the 5 questions. You may think, okay, 5 questions just is not enough. Well, depending on how you compose the test. Usually, if I do it in an exam, probably for each area, I won't have maximum 3 to 5 questions for each area. So that you come up with like 20 questions in multiple areas. Or maybe you can simply just do a short quiz for students for every week, every lecture. At the very beginning of the lecture, for example, last week I've already taught my students the loop and the branching. Then I can actually give this quiz to my students. Now, what can I do? You can actually copy. You can simply just assign it. Okay. You can simply just copy, print the question sheet. Okay. Or you simply just copy and paste. Or even better, you can actually export to a Google form. Then, because I've already logged into my Google account, so that I can actually have a Google form. Now, you can simply just give this, okay, share this Google form to your students, okay, send this to your students, send this link to your students, or make it as a QR code. Then at the very beginning of the lecture, you can simply just post a QR code and ask the student to complete these things, okay, so that you will have a weekly evaluations of what students have learned last week. So that what you need to do is generate these things, make sure you cross-check the questions whether it works or not, okay. Then actually that will do the job for you, okay. I'm not sure whether they have a pricing or not. So far, I've been using this actually quite some time, but it doesn't ask me to pay. So that anyway, I will treat it as free for now. Okay.
So you don't need a role for this.
No, you don't need because actually by default you see this is actually a Concur is actually have only one specific task, is to create questions. So you have to create questions. This is already a task, but the only thing you need to tell is what kind of task you have. Multiple choice, read and respond, fill in the blanks. I haven't tried filling the blanks. We'll be tried later on mixed approach. The only thing we need to know is you have to click higher education. Okay, otherwise you give a 6th grade. Okay, then that will be another story. Okay, so that will be the Concur. I've been using this one for. I should not say this particularly. I've been thinking about using this one for the examinations. But anyway, don't tell my students. All right. So hey.
Can we have more than 4 choices?
Can we have? I think by default they only have 4. Yeah, actually I tried to see whether I can fill 5, but I don't. So that what you can do is you can simply just add. So when you generate these things, you can actually have to add one more choice. Okay. By default, they only have 4 choices. Okay. So this is a Concur. One other thing is anyway, so this is things. So any questions so far? So then I'm gonna do another one. Hold on, just let me show you another one called. Let me share the screen. Now I'm gonna using my other computer to share the screen. So I will stop sharing this one here. Okay, then I will share this. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'll use transcribing. We'll see if I have a text here, if I have a message. Hold on a second. Let me just check some. what I'm going to do is I'm actually trying to do a transcription. Okay. So I need to got this link. I need to download this one first. So what I'm doing is I'm going to download these 3 files. So in the meantime, yes, it's actually a conversation to my with my with my niece. Okay, the content is not important. Okay, the reason I want to show you how to transcribe the stuff. Okay, so that I've actually download a mess up a post here. So it's actually okay. Now. So we actually have a message here. We actually have a MP3 or M4A, which is our audio file here. So how can I do transcribing? So for Mac machine, they actually have a very useful called Whisper, Mac Whisper, right here. We call the Mac Whisper. Okay, so that if you're using Mac machine, okay, this actually a Mac Whisper. How about Windows? I will show you another parts of Windows. Okay, so Mac Whisper. Okay, so I said this is actually a program. You can simply just go to Mac Whisper. Okay, then to download it. I did pay for it. Okay, because it's actually not that expensive. Okay, it's only 18 euro for 1 license. Or I bought 5 licenses, so that are for my nephews and for my brother. So that it's only like 50 euro. Then you can have it for, let's say, so-called lifetime. But anyway, so what I do is I simply just upload, or you can actually new recording, or you can simply use some of the apps. So I simply just open a file. For example, if I have so this is my file transcribing. Okay, so now for this one, basically it's free. You will get if you're using a free model. Okay, if you're using a free version, they will actually give it a kind of a limited base of AI voice recognition. But I actually pay for this because actually it's not that expensive, and it doesn't charge me monthly. So that I just spend 50 euros to pay for it, and so that I can get a bigger version, better version. Now it's transcribing. So that so let's wait a bit. Okay. So while it's been transcribing, I'm going to show you another. Another AI tools. So that I will come back to here. I'll come back to this one later. It takes some time to transcribe. Okay. So I'm going to introduce another AI tools, which is TextEye. TextEye. TextEye is actually helping me quite a lot. Okay. With extension, it's a Google extension. Okay, I simply just click Google extension. Okay, it's very similar to the ChatGPT. As I said, most of them they actually have a backbone of ChatGPT. Okay, so I have actually used this simply just because I've already installed it. Okay, by default, if you use if you Google TextEye, it will actually ask you to install as a Google prompt. So I've installed it. Then actually here, I can go to my extension. I can go and look for this one. Then I've logged in with my account. Okay. Then let's say what I'm going to do is actually text assistant write me a reference letter for university admission for students who score averagely. Sometimes if your students score very high, okay, they do very well, so that you don't have any problems writing them a reference letter. But sometimes when they score averagely, then probably you need some time to think about how to write it. Okay, you don't want to ruin his or her chance, but you have to tell the truth. So that let's say write me a reference letter for university admission for a student who scores averagely. Okay, then wait a bit. Hold on, let me just check this one. Something wrong. Hold on, just let me check, double check these things. Well, if still things if yeah right here. So here, okay, I've done this. Write me a reference letter for university student admission who's score blah, blah, blah. So that is actually the reference letter. Okay. So again, you have to check. I'm writing this letter for reference of student's name who is blah blah blah. Okay. So that this will give you an idea how to write a reference letter. Okay. At least it serve you like it kind of help you a bit, okay, instead of starting from scratch. And this is pretty handy, so that it's actually extension, so that you can simply just add an extension to your group room. Then you can simply just, whether you want a little help, okay, on this, then you can simply just get a help from the text TXTI. And I think at the moment it's free because it doesn't have a pricing here. Supposing if you're using the extension that requires money, then actually will show you the pricing. It doesn't give you a pricing here, but it takes some time. And hold on, just let me check another one here. Now, what I'm going to show you another one called is Spinach Chef. Okay, Spinach Chef. Okay, hold on, just let me. I'll come back to Mac machine link. I'll come back to now. Let's see another one. Okay. The paraphraser, Spinach Chef, the paraphraser, it helps you to rewrite some of like you may want to like you have written a email or paragraph or an essay. Sometimes you want somebody to paraphrase you because especially especially when I'm not native speaking, or I'm not English native speaker, so that I'll probably use this one. They have a model, okay. If you are using the free version, they only give you a very preliminary version or preliminary functions, or you can pay for this. If you do upgrade, okay, it's not that expensive. It's $9 a month, or you can do a lifetime. For lifetime, for starter, it's only like 120, like let's say 800 or below 1,000 Hong Kong dollars for lifetime. Okay, but anyway, it's up to you. You can do it. Let me show you some of the features right here. You can now, by default, it's a web version, so that you can simply just Google Spin and Shift, Spin and Shift. Now I've actually downloaded students. I have students work. Okay, now this is my student works. Let's say because actually I'm using a free version at the moment, so that I will not be able to copy and paste all the parts, okay, because it's too long. Simply it's just too long. Okay, now I can go to Spin and Shift and pay this thing. You see, I've already exceeded 150. Let's say if I try to now this is actually I just copied from my students to see I can spin this article. Now you can see, okay. Now this is my original article. On the right, on the screen, on the left hand side, this is the original article. This is on the right hand side. This is spun article. So it will actually give you, like you highlight this thing, you highlight this part, okay. It will give you the corresponding spun message, okay. So again, sometimes actually it works pretty. I've actually used this. I've been using this quite a while, because especially sometimes you want to you know, our collections of vocabulary is actually limited compared to those native speakers. So that sometimes I will actually try to use this. Okay, try to use a paraphraser to paraphrase my idea. And it's also give you a new opportunity to learn some new vocabulary. Okay, so this is actually the spun articles. Okay, you can pay for this. Okay, and then you can actually spin the whole articles. Then the grammar checker. Okay, you can actually paste. Let's see if I can paste everything here to do the grammar check. I do not have forgot a password anyway. Okay, let's see if I can never log in. Anyway, I haven't logged in here. Okay, so I haven't used a grammar checker before, because actually I've been using paraphraser. But sometimes, remember, you can actually use the ChatGPT-4 to paraphrase use the ChatGPT to paraphrase yourself for yourself, depending on what action you use, depending on what tools you're going to use. Okay, because I already paid for the POE, so probably sometimes I will stick to the POE, but you have to write a bit longer. Okay, because this one, if you simply just use a spinner, because it's actually very focused. Okay, you can simply just download tools and paste the language, then it will help. And other one, this one, okay, the check PDF. Probably some of you, especially some of the colleagues who are doing research, okay, the check PDF, okay, it's actually probably you have been using this a lot. Okay, because sometimes I'm super lazy. I don't want to read several pages of of journals of with they're actually they're actually in PDF format. Okay. What I will do is I simply just go to chatpdf.com. Okay, and dump the Jamboree circular. For example, I've got an email. Okay, from a scout. Okay, that is called Messenger of Peace. Then I've got this email. Then I have to, let's say, to check. Okay, well, all the message. Okay. Okay, I have to read all this, but sometimes I'm super lazy. Try to imagine if there are several pages. Okay, what I do is I simply just drag and drop. This will give me a kind of like a summary. Okay. Now, this will give me a summary. Welcome to the messaging of peace of NSO coordinator, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And it gives you some of these ideas. What is it going? Now, probably if actually has this things has actually read the whole file, and I can actually ask this question. You can actually ask other questions as well. Okay, let's say who can participate? Do I need to participate? Who can participate? So that we are the Scout coordinators from the Asia Pacific regions. Okay, so including Hong Kong and Malaysia. Okay, I've actually visited the Scout headquarters in Malaysia. Okay, so this is okay. I know probably I am the one. Okay, who need to attend this event. Then what is it about? Then the objectives. These are the objectives. Okay. Any fees is it of any fees involved? Okay, probably I ask this question. So simply just somebody has read this PDF for you, then you kind of ask this question. Okay. When I'm super lazy, okay, try to imagine if I put it, if I have this while I'm on a bus, okay, traveling somewhere to elsewhere, then actually I can actually let these guys do the summary for me. Then I will actually kind of ask some of the questions I find important. Okay, and this actually helped me do some of the research a lot. Okay, I know I'm lazy. Okay, I know somebody may not like this one. Okay, some of you may actually say, okay, you're lazy. Okay, you cheat. But anyway, I'm just make use of this technology. But the point is, again, don't wholly rely on these things. Okay, but anyway, this is actually some of the tools I'll be using when I'm lazy. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Casey is going to share his experience.
Okay,
you can
sure.
continue after this.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Questions to ask you.
Sure. Okay. So go ahead. Okay.
So I need to use the.
Now that I have invited Professor KK Sin, the Dean of Arts and Humanities, to come to share his experience in using AI tool for his own teaching. So I will interrupt Gareth's talk first, and then let Professor Sin share, because he has some appointment after. He has an assessment panel to chair after this. So then he has to rush back. So Professor Sin, please. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Also, it's also online, right? Yeah, but can this be shared with? Oh, okay, okay. So good morning, colleagues. I'm very excited. To be here. Just like to share with you, my enthusiasm in using, the AI tools for teaching and for the students for learning. And first and foremost, to me, and the AI tools are very, very useful and convenient and powerful teaching tool. Okay, and before anything else, so this semester I'm teaching 2 courses, and one, is for English for professional communication. I think in the last workshop I demonstrated already how I used the ChatGPT tools to help me, grade students' oral journals. And the other course I was teaching is a beginner translation course. And it's really a pleasure to use ChatGPT, in preparing, for myself, teaching materials. For translation, very often we have to expose students to, a variety of text types. And so before we had ChatGPT, it is rather difficult to find, the sources, of different text types, of roughly the same length. And we had to spend a lot of time, looking for passages, suitable passages for demonstration to students and how to deal with the translation of each type of text. But now with ChatGPT, and it's very, very easy, convenient. So I just give a prompt. Okay, give me a sample expository text of about 150 words. For expository text, I think all of us know, is to explain things, for example, a scientific text, and how to explain a phenomenon, and like how rain is formed, things like that. So I just type in a sample expository text about 150 words, and then so it's within a second, it just gave me the importance of recycling, and then I move on to, for example, give me a sample of descriptive text about also the same length. And so a very good, it's a passage, serene, a lakeshore retreat. This is for how to describe something, a situation, an event. And persuasive, as making an argument to persuade your readers, on a certain point or certain thing, the need for plant-based diets, and a narrative, for storytelling, to describe, the process of events. So this is a very good one, the stormy nights. And directive, for that directive, like, the legal text or manual, to show people how to do things, or to, make people do things. A directive text, and how to create a small vegetable garden, okay, and the step by step. And so you can see within just 20 minutes, I can have, this type, the very type of text for my class already. And so to show students how each type of text, varies in terms of vocabulary, sentence structure, and style. And then also, the medieval text will also have genres, the different text types under different categories. By genre, for example, literature. Again, I asked ChatGPT to give me, very short, the passage literally, a moment in time, it's a beautiful piece. Scientific, the scientific text, the impact of sleep on cognitive function, very interesting, and commercial, and introducing the ultra band 3000, I think is made up by ChatGPT. This is something like this. And political, the importance of civic engagement in democracy, all of a similar length. Promotional, to sell something. And this is commercial text, and I experienced the ultimate tropical escape, a Paradise Island reports. So I made it, give me two, because the usual type for translation. And then philosophical, the paradox of happiness, religious, the power of prayer and faith. Okay, so I walked in the class and I was dealing with text type of genres. With this, the passage was ready. And before that, as a home assignment, I asked the student to find, the text of this type. And so when they come, I show them, all these passages. And then we discuss and analyze the features of each type. And the beautiful thing is that for each passage, and I could use ChatGPT to do a translation for me just within 2 seconds. As each type, and then we discuss how to translate, each text type. And so this is the descriptive, 宁静的湖畔度假胜地 okay, and persuasive, 食物飲食嘅需求 okay, and very good translation, idiomatic, fluent, a narrative, a stormy night, 暴風雨之夜 okay, 一個暴風雨之夜閃電照亮了 okay, good translation. And directive, 我見咗一個小型嘅蔬菜園 and then the different genres, literary, 時光片刻 and scientific, 睡眠對認知功能嘅影響 and commercial, okay, 向你推薦 Ultra Band 3000，徹底改變你嘅廚房體驗 okay, very good, interesting, and political, the importance of civic engagement in democracy, 民主中公民參與嘅重要性 you see, and promotional, 在天堂島度假村體驗極熱帶度假勝地 and then philosophical, hard to translate, 幸福嘅悖論 okay, the paradox, very good, and then religious, and before, if I had to prepare, a class like this, I had to spend a lot of time. Oh, sorry. And yeah.
Yes. I mean, obviously, it helps the teacher a lot,
Yeah.
right? But how do you think these articles with the translation provided to them help students to learn better in the translation skill?
So this is, it's from another class. And for this particular class, just like to give students, a very clear idea and how different text types differ in terms of vocabulary and, the sentence structure and style. And then they also show them the translation, for each type of text type, there should also be a corresponding type of translation in style and vocabulary. That's the teaching point.
So you, when you go through this with the students, you analyze.
Yeah.
This of the
Yeah.
sentences. This is corresponding to promotional style.
Yeah.
That is corresponding to.
Right.
Oh, that I understand.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't want to draw on this. Another. Oh, sorry. Is to make students realize, and because students are now aware, that they can make use of, the AI tools, to translate. They know this already. But one message I must make them clear, to bear in mind that, the translation produced by AI tools may not be accurate. And that if you don't understand, the source text yourself, it's very dangerous simply to rely on the translation produced by an AI tool. So I have an example. I have 15 sentences, but of course, I'm not going through all of them. And so just pick 3 for the purpose of this discussion. And so I picked the sentences from the textbooks. For example, the river flows south, the wind blows north, and the translation given by the textbook, 河向南流，風朝北吹. And then I also, to use different these AI tools, Google Translate, Baidu, Tangsun, DeepL. Okay, it's a very powerful tool, Youdo. And this is a Singaporean, developed by the Singaporean government, and said to be very, very good. But I tested, it's not so good. So I give students, this is from the textbook, and make them realize, okay, and these are the translations, sorry, again, and produced by different AI tools. And this is a so-called the AI tools before ChatGPT. Okay, and very interestingly, all of them got the first sentence wrong. The thing for you, I can test you. The river flows south is correct. 河向南流. But when you say, the wind blows north, it's not blowing in the direction north, it's blowing from north. That's the correct, the understanding. But you can see, the all and got it wrong. So if a student doesn't understand the correct understanding, of the wind blows north, himself or herself, and then if he simply copy, the translation produced by any of these tools, he or she also got it wrong. Let me show you another example. All the students of UWCHK are not hardworking. And a very useful common understanding of this sentence type is 所有香港五輪個學院嘅學生都不用功. But it's wrong. And if you read the translation by the other AI tool, for example, by Google Translate, UWCHK speaks 所有學生都不勤奮. Again, it's wrong. The sentence fractions, all that glitters is not gold. doesn't mean that, meaning that not all the letters is gold. This is correct understanding, but none of the tools, got it right. So this again to make students realize, the translations produced by, the so-called translation tools are not reliable. So then. Not this one. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. I got the wrong file. Let me check this one. Why? This is not my file. Should be B. Oh, okay, good. And then I use three, the new AI tools, and to translate 15 sentences again. This is the AI tool 1. Maybe I think it's ChatGPT, not 4. Okay. Again, I told the students, now this is a new tools. You thought they were powerful. Again, I asked them to do the translation again, and again, all of them got the first sentence wrong. 風吹北走. You see, it doesn't make sense. Okay, and for example, 五倫工學院 ，Where's 五倫工學院 ？Okay. UWC 嘅所有學生都勤奮 ，again is the wrong translation。正確嘅就係咧，並唔係所有五倫道嘅學生都係唔用功嘅。Some of them are not all. And so this is only to show them, okay, and they are useful tools. But if you don't understand the meaning of the source sentence or the source passage yourself, if you simply rely on the ChatGPT tool to translate for you, you run a very big risk. And I inculcate this idea, in the students' mind from the very first beginning. So they alert, and even though I can use translation, the ChatGPT translate for me, the translation may not be right. And this is a very important point. Okay, and lastly, I'd like to show you the achievement. So as a longer project, a small project, as I picked 2 passages and literary text and translated by 2. This is ChatGPT translation. And this is another AI tool, Sage, very powerful tool. And so this, the first is from English to Chinese. And I asked the student to compare, to analyze, and to evaluate the translation. And then the second one is, you see, this is a student, the end. Very, very, slide to show the first box. Once, in a quiet corner of the world, there lived a young girl named Hilara. And as the students is required to compare, to evaluate. This is very good. At the end of the course, they developed a very critical sense, of, correct translation. And for example, for lived, this is ChatGPT 4, lift out lift, although this is a minor point, but 注着一個叫係拉拉的旅行 is is much better. So I'm very impressed, the meticulous analysis, performed by a beginner student. This is the first time the students learn translation. It's a very detailed, meticulous, comparison. In class.
Oh, wow, that's very good.
Yeah. You see, they, of course, they make it, the presentation better, but, in the class.
Wow.
And the same with the next passage in Chinese.
To our audience.
Yeah, we have to discuss, and other students. So I'm very impressed. This sense, to make them realize, there are very useful translation tools available, but they are not always reliable. And you have to develop your own, understanding and your very, very critical, awareness. So this is it's a great pleasure, really, teaching the beginner students with the help. You've seen how the tools, make the teaching very, very pleasurable. It's a very easy job. And if the teacher benefits, the students will definitely benefit.
Thank you.
And that's the message.
Yes, thank you, Professor Sim.
Okay.
Thank you. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But I found out many different, very interesting things from ChatGPT.
Share.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Definitely.
thanks a lot. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for the time. So I must rush back. Okay, thank you.
So now we just have an excellent example of Professor Sin demonstrating to us how using AI tool can definitely help the student to learn much better. So the example of getting students to compare translations from different AI tools, and they can sort of list out all the pros and cons. And that is exactly what we want when we use AI tools, not only for ourselves as teachers, but also for the better learning of students. So may I now invite Garrett to continue with his talk. Thank you, Eric. Garrett.
Okay, hi guys, I'm back. Okay, so let me sharing my screen. So no worry, I don't have much to talk. Okay, so I only have like 1 or 2 more application to share with you guys. Okay, let's go back to the. Did you remember I have actually we have actually tried to transcribing. So I used the Mac Whisper. Okay, I've used the Mac Whisper. Okay, which is this one. Okay, now I've already finished transcribing. Okay, so when I go to this, this is actually the file. Now because it's actually a conversation with my niece. Okay, so we actually speak in like a mixture of Cantonese and English, so that this actually the scripts, okay, we have actually discussed. Well, remember, this is actually not 100% correct. Okay, we give you like around 80 or 85% correctness. If you speak in English, if you try to transcribe something in English, that will be actually way better. Okay, so assuming I have these transcriptions, okay, then you can actually export as an SRT. Okay, if you export as an SRT format, you simply just upload your video to YouTube and also upload the SRT, then that will do the job. Okay, because all the SRT format is actually for subtitle. Okay, you have the time. Okay, from this seconds, from this instant to this instant, I have this. Okay, I have this subtitle and so forth. Of course, you can actually modify it. Okay, once you export it, it's actually a text file. Then you can actually modify it. Okay, for example, this should be Google Chrome. Okay, when you do the transcription, okay, it's always the best. You only use single language. But if you use mixture of language, then that you have, be very prepared. You have to do quite a lot of modifications. Okay, because well, this is after all, the AI is not a human being. Okay, so that it actually takes time for us for it to differentiate whether under what time you're speaking Cantonese, under what time you're doing the English, or you can simply just Google. Okay, so for this, if you are doing the transcription, and you know that they are actually not fully in English, then better you choose the multiple language part. Okay, for the first time I forgot to change this part, so I use the medium. I can use a large model, but it will take longer. Okay, the medium, it took me around like 10 to 15 minutes to transcribe. Okay, if you are well aware that you're doing English, okay, you can simply just use the English only model. I haven't downloaded the large model. I think medium is actually good enough. Or you can actually simply just paste your YouTube link. Okay, paste the YouTube link and do the transcription as well. So that is actually pretty handy. And the price for this one is actually not scary. Okay, it's actually pretty cheap, because like for one license, only 18 euro for life. Okay, because in the past, when we do, especially when we are doing multimedia, sometimes we have to do the transcriptions for all the students who have actually made a video. If you put either they have to do it manually, it takes quite amount of time, or they have to pay very expensively to do transcription. But now you can actually we can do a transcription with a very cheap price. I actually strongly recommend the college to try to buy a license, because for at least one lab room, because like it actually helps students to do lots of transcription. It actually save their time a lot. Okay, and after all, the price is actually not expensive. The other one is the one is programming. Well, this is two-sided blade. Okay, well, let's say this is called Replit. Okay, or Replit. Okay, so simply just Google it. Then I've already logged in. Otherwise, you have to log in by yourself. Then I can. Well, you have to create. You have to create your directory. I've created a directory here. This is actually my directory. Now, for example, if I'm actually writing a Python files, and you have no idea how to write a particular function, so that you can use a ghostwriter. Okay, it's an actual AI function. You can use a ghostwriter. Okay, then I can simply just say, I'm lazy, so that I've actually tried this a lot. I've actually tried this while Professor Sin has shared his thoughts. Okay, so I'm actually write a Python program that contains two functions, read and write. The read function takes a parameter as a file name and read the contents of the file and print the content on screen. So this will actually, first of all, I give a task to the ghostwriter that I'm going to write two functions, read and write. Then I will describe the read function, which takes one parameter, which is a file name, okay, and read the content, okay, the task again, and print the content on screen. And then another function, the write function, takes two parameters, and the file name and the content, and writes the content to the file name. So that this is actually my questions. Okay, assuming I have no idea how to write this, so I simply just put it to a ghostwriter. Then it already gives me the function. I can simply just copy and paste and put it here. Okay, then these are the functions. Okay, that has already done for me. Okay, well, as I said, I'm not the only guy. Okay, that will know how to use this AI tools. My student will also they are actually willing to pay, okay, to pay for this AI tools to write their assignment. So that we have to be aware, okay, even though it helps us a lot, okay, sometimes it helps us, okay, but also we have to be aware, okay, the students may be using the same tools, okay, to complete their assignment. So that sometimes we have to be aware, okay. Maybe in the coming academic year, we have to change our assessment schedule, okay, to accommodate these things. Because from my perspective, once we have AI, there's no turning back. Okay, we have to make sure we have to find a way to cope with these situations. I think this is out. There's one more thing I want to talk about. Is called Grammarly. Okay, this is actually a pretty popular thing. Okay. It's very similar to it's actually very similar to ChatGPT, because you can actually dump a passage to ChatGPT and ask them to correct the grammar. But anyway, this is actually another one, okay, for you to check the grammar. Again, using AI tools. Again, you have a pay version or free version. Okay. Now, for example, I've actually done. You can actually upload a file. Okay, upload a file. Let's say this one. I've already uploaded this file, so that I'm actually have this file here. This is actually a work of my student. You actually give you, okay, some of the ideas, something like say unclear sentence. You have to probably remind you to change your words. If you pay a little bit more, hold on, let me see if I can submit a new one here. And upload a document. Okay, upload another one here. So you ask you to set the goals. Okay, who are your audience? Okay, then I would say, let's say, probably I'm not the next expert, but at least I'm knowledgeable. Then formality neutral, domain, general, specific. Now, if you want to pay, if you want to switch to another domain, then probably you have to pay. Okay, then probably intent is informed. Okay, then done. Then it will suggest you some of the ideas. In order to, then you actually ask you to see, okay, change it to 2. Then you can actually change it. Okay, then it comes to, it shows you, it gives you an idea how to change your wordings, okay, to make it looks better. So well, probably sometimes you may want the student to use this kind of things to kind of refine the passage. Okay, it doesn't do the passage for you, but you will actually help them to refine the content. I'm not sure how you think, but for me, at least, it's just like a grammar checker in Microsoft Word. It simply just kind of help students to refine their words before the submission. This one does not change the things entirely. It simply just mostly you actually preserve the writing of students. Simply just give them another suggestion for the words, for the terms they should be using. Okay, so that this is called Grammarly. Okay, it's also available online, and it's mostly it's for free, of course, for limited with limited functions. If you want to pay more, you will pay. It actually release more features for you. Okay, I think this is the things I want to talk about. I want to share with you at the moment, because I'm still exploring other possibilities of the AI tools. So if I do find some of the other new AI tools, then surely I will actually I'll be happy, more than happy to share with you guys as well. Okay, so I'm gonna pass the time to Lillian to see if you have any questions.
Thank you, Gareth, for all these very interesting and innovative 2 AI tools that we can apply.
Feel free.
Okay, I think I have a burning question for you, which I would think would be very beneficial to most of our teachers. Say, if I want to write a curriculum for a new course, say ESG, right? Environmental, social, and governance, right? Which is a very, very hot topic at the moment. But I know there are lots of information on the internet, the news media, etc. But how can I ask whatever AI tool you think is best to first of all get the AI tool to select the most reliable information for me, summarize it, and produce what we call a course outline. And then we can start working on the course outline to produce different lectures. Is this possible for ChatGPT to do it?
Okay, okay. You stay here. I'm gonna go to the seat. Okay. So let's do it. Let's do it online. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see if I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna share my screen here. Okay. So let's do together to see. I hate this.
Already do create a syllabus for ESG.
Yes.
We try maybe.
So let's see, Video POE. Actually, I tried this because actually last academic the academic year, okay, LAM has actually asked me to teach a new subject, okay, internet security. I have no idea, okay, what is it? I know internet security, but I don't know which area to talk. For example, I would say name. Again, because this is I have already stated the role. Okay, this guy is still a lecturer. Okay, so that I would say state. Let's say you we have 13 weeks. Okay, then minus those midterms, blah blah. State 10 major topics of what is it program? ESG stand for
Environment, social, governance.
and governance or governance.
Am I right?
Wait, is it?
Yes.
Okay, and list their subtopics as well to see what it gives. And I have no idea what it is, so that
Yeah, that's correct.
That's right. That's exactly.
so this is the first topic. Okay, so that I give you like 10 courses.
Save you so much.
Technology helps a lot with it.
And let's give you some ideas, okay, where to teach or what to teach. Now, but be aware, this database is actually before 2021.
Yes.
So that is not the most updated. Okay, probably you need to like add some more subtopics or major topics. Okay,
Very good. Save so much time in
then actually for each topics, okay, you can actually further
Yes.
ask questions, like elaborate the study plan or the lesson plan. Let's say for the first topic is, let's say, environmental management. But for each topics, you can actually have an individual.
So the next question I'd like to ask is student activities.
Yeah, what I'm going to do next is, oh, yes, you also give you the activities already.
Perfect.
Response very quick, amazing.
Since now, because like for this, the reason that you have a quick, very quick response because I've actually paid for this GPT-4.
Right.
If you use a free version, okay, probably you will wait a whole day. Okay, because if you use a free version, then you have actually with a lower priority. Okay.
Yes, I think we should get the college to pay, just like Batch has already done it. ChatGPT-4. Wow.
So you have an optional assignment as well, because I was planning to ask any home assignment. Okay, so that this is actually this will actually give you an idea of how to. I've tried to use a produce view PowerPoint, but actually it doesn't really work. Okay, let's say
Maybe you can try, yeah.
produce, let's say 20 slides of PowerPoint. On this topic. Yes, it doesn't, but I can provide you with the outline.
Oh,
of
yes,
this.
that's okay.
Yes.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Yeah.
I think you have one question for the guest.
I got a question.
Poster design. The subject that we asked them to design poster, may I know where can see how to use Canva and AI tool to design?
Okay, we're thinking. Okay, hold on. Just wait. Okay. So these are the slides. So that let's jump to the next question. I have a subject that requires students to use the poster design and can learn how to use Canvas. Now, first of all, one thing is for Canvas. You have to pay. Okay, you have to pay in order to so that you have to buy a license in order to for the student have to buy a license, okay, in order to make use of this the functions. You can simply just go to the apps. Okay, yep, just go to the apps here. Okay, let's see if I have an English setting. Let's see if I do I do not remember. To change it to English setting.
Yeah.
Where? All right, here. Let's say change it to English setting. English. Okay, Philippines, no. So, okay, just go to Canvas, then go to apps, and then you can actually we use the text to image. Okay, and then I'm gonna use a new probably where you want to create. Okay, I'm gonna create and use it in a new design. Okay, then you have to customize design. Let's say customer size. What is size for that? What is the inch? 8.5. Let's say whatever. Okay, I have just make it up. Okay, this seems to be an A4 size. Okay, then create a new design. And this is the file. Then you can actually type something. Let's say a poster of SDG, sustainable development goals. A poster on SDG from UNESCO. Let's say just because I will not say this is gonna be a great poster because actually it's still very vague.
Yeah.
Okay, depending on how you're gonna create. So probably you may want to encourage students to give a more specific idea. Okay, so this is some of the suggestions here. Okay,
Maybe just one.
yes, see if I can create image again. Now, you want to be more specific, okay, you can actually create Mr. or Ms. Poon, do you have any idea? Do you have any suggestion, like in terms like the wordings? Because I'm not very familiar with this design. It will be better if you can actually tell me some descriptions of the poster you may want. Okay, and let's see and see what we can create. Because all of a sudden I'm not in this industry, so that all of a sudden I couldn't think of any terms that are that would be useful for poster creation.
Just name an area.
Do I know any free version? For the free version, you can use Microsoft Design. At the moment, it's still free. You can use the Microsoft Designer for this one. You can use the Microsoft Designer. Okay. At the moment, I'm not sure whether probably you give you like probably for the first half year you may be free, but later you will ask you for money. But I believe this because the Microsoft Designer is actually under the tree of Microsoft family. Probably maybe if as long as the college or the university has actually bought the campus license, they may include this designer later because it's still in the preview version. Okay, so you can use the Microsoft Designer, okay, to create a new design. Okay. Now so far this is free. Okay. A poster on sustainable development goals. Hang on. Which is a high education quality. This is the SDG. So that this is probably now you see this guy. I'm not saying I would say I'm actually I would say the design is actually not doing a good job because supposedly this guy should know what is goal number 4. Goal number 4 is quality education, so that you may actually add some more on quality education. Okay. Poon, I'm sorry, I'm not available in June because actually I'll be actually out of town for the whole summer vacations. I mean for the whole summer. Okay. But I will see if I don't mind to give a brief 15-minute talks to your students. Actually, I love to, but because I'm not sure whether I have Wi-Fi available in that thing. You can actually I'm gonna send you my email. Okay. I'm gonna reply to you email. Okay. Okay. So anyway, if you this is actually my email. If you feel free to contact me. Poon, are you from Hong Kong or are you in Malaysia? Because I'll be visiting Malaysia. I will be visiting Malaysia in late June. Okay, probably. Probably I'll be in Malaysia from 21st to 26th or 25th. Okay, I'm not sure. I cannot guarantee. Probably if times permit, probably we can give you. We can actually have a little chat in Malaysia. Okay. Anyway, we'll actually I'm more than willing to share with you with your students, but let's chat, okay, through the email. Okay, I'll be visiting Malaysia. Okay, I'll be in Kuala. I do not how to pronounce it. Kuala Lumpur. I'll be in Kuala Lumpur on 23rd to 25th. Okay, and I will let you know. What time we are available. Okay, just KL. Yeah, thank you.
I am conscious of the time. So do you have any more questions to ask Garrett, or he's still around before he left his Hong Kongers? Right. Now, maybe if you don't have any questions, well, I like to thank Garrett for all these very useful tools that introduced to us. But of course, it's up to us how to apply it to help the teaching. But I'm also very much would like all of us to try to think of how we can make use of AI tool to help students to learn better, just like what Professor Kiki Sin did. I mean, we may have to, let's say, run some workshops or just to brainstorm everybody, have a brainstorming section, and that we can get some new ideas how to make use of the AI tool to help students learn better. Now, we all know that it can definitely help us to teach better with the material, to have a better lesson design for what we are trying to teach students. But how to make use of this to help students to learn better, we really need sort of some more thinking. And I hope Garrett will be the first one to help us with this, because he's so used to using these AI tools. For all of us, we are still beginners. We have to maybe spend quite some time in order to familiarize with each tool and find which tool will be most suitable for our own teaching. And that is also important. As Garrett said, that not all tools are useful to us. We have to find out ourselves which one is the best. So if there aren't any questions, I would like to close the seminar today, and I thank everyone to take part, and that do send us since Garrett's email is already visible to everybody, I'm sure that he will welcome questions from all of you. So thank you for your attendance and have a nice day. Thank you.要學，要跟你學好多嘢。
你俾錢就正經俾錢係嗰個 ChatGPT。